we are going to review the movie Tombstone that came in 1993, and let's do its full movie review and let's talk about its facts. So the first let's start with its uh, introduction. Tombstone is a 1993 American Western film directed by George B. Cosmatos with a screenplay by Kevin James, and it's renowned for its gritty portrayals of the Old West, complaining characters, and memorable dialogues and dynamic action sequences. The film mm, dramatized this legendary events surrounding uh, the gunfight at the OK Corral, focusing on lawman Ear, his brothers, and the infamous outlaw Doc Hurley. And the film has become a staple of Western cinema, appreciated for its authentic atmosphere, strong performances, and faithful depiction of historical figures and events. And if you talk about its plot summary, its setting, first we take a common setting. The film takes place in how I'm looking, guys. I'm looking good. Uh, the film takes place in Tombstone, Arizona, in the late 80s. Bargaining a frontier town with lawlessness and it's like okay opportunity. And let's talk about its main plot points. That first plot point what year Curtis arrives in Tombstone seeking a fresh start. He's a former lawman with checkered past. Wyatt reunites with his brothers Virgil, Samuel and Morgan Bill Paxton as they attempt to establish a peaceful and lawful life. And if we talk about Doc Holliday, uh, Kilmer, a notorious gambler and dentist with the tuberculosis and diagnosis, becomes allied with Wyatt, and the town's lawlessness escalates due to the presence of the Clinton McLaurin gang and notorious outlaws led by E. Clinton and the Cowboys, an outlaw group involved in cattle rustling and violence. And if we talk about tension, culminate in the legendary gunfight at the Oak Corral, a quite violent shootout between lawmen and outlaws. And if we talk about the aftermath, see what moral stands tested as he seeks justice and order amidst chaos and betrayal. And now let's talk about themes and uh, And if we talk about themes and analysis, justice and law enforcement, the film explores the challenge of stabilizing law and order on the frontier. Yet here embodies the conflicted lawman balancing morality with necessity. And if we talk about friendship and loyalty, the bond between cat and dog holiday exemplifies loyalty amid tension. The relationships amongst the young brothers highlight familiar loyalty and sacrifice. And if we talk about vigilantistic versus justice, the film questions whether justice can be achieved through legal means or if vigilantism is inevitable in lawless territories. And if we talk about morality and redemption, character grapples with moral gray areas, particular Viat who seeks justice but must navigate violence and betrayal. And if we talk about American frontier mythology, the film romanticizes the rugged, dangerous, and heroic image of the Old West while acknowledging its brutality. And if we talk about character analysis, we are here Kurt Russell, complex figure seeing peace but ultimately drawn into conflict. Embodies moral integrity, leadership, and resilience. His character arc reflects the struggle to maintain morality in a lawless land. And if we talk about Doc Holiday Wall Kilmer, charismatic, witty, and deadly, a tragic figure battling tuberculosis yet fiercely loyal, known for his sharp wit and memorable lines, I am your Huckleberry. And if we talk about Virgil Ear Samilite, the elder brother, a sheriff with a strong sense of justice, acts as a stabilizing force among the Ear brothers. And if we talk about Morgan Ear, Bill Paxton, the youngest brother, also involved in law enforcement. Each death letter in history becomes a pivotal event in Wyatt's life. Eco Clanton, Stephen Lang, a hot-tempered outlaw leader, representative of chaos. His hostility sparks the confrontation. Johnny Ringo, Michael Biehn, a charismatic and ruthless outlaw who becomes Weir's formidable adversary, symbolizes the violent chaos of the frontier. And if we talk about Doc Holiday, Wall Kilmer, the the standout character known for his wit, bravado, and tragic flair. His friendship with Wyatt is central to the story. And if you talk about historical accuracy and creative liberties, the film takes some liberties with historical facts for dramatic effect, for example, the timeline and specific interaction and fictionalized into high-end drama. The portrayal of Doc Holliday and Wyatt Earp aligns with their legendary image, but some events are dramatized. And if we talk about the real gunfight at the Oak Coral war brief about 30 seconds, yet the film depicts it with cinematic intensity. Wyatt's ear real, especially with his brother, are simplified for narrative clarity. Not the film balance historical authenticity with emphasizes character and drama over strict accuracy. We talk about technical aspects, direction and cinematography. Directed by George P. Cosmatos, the film features sweeping desert shots, gritty close-ups, and dynamic action sequences. Cinematography by William Bates captures the stark beauty and ruggedness of the frontier. And if you talk about music and sound, the soundtrack composed by Bruce Broughton complements the film's tone, haunting, tense, and heroic. Use of ambient sound enhances immersion, especially during shootouts and tense scenes. And if we talk about editing and pacing, uh, tight editing maintains tension, especially during action scenes. The film balances character development with exciting sequences. And if we talk about memorable scene and dialogue, the gunfight at the OK Coral iconic, fast-paced and choreographed with precision. Dark Holidays, I Am Your Huckleberry Line, defining moments showcasing Kilmer's charisma, Weir's confrontation with Outlast, his moral dilemmas, the emotional climax where Weir faces betrayal and loss. And if we talk about critical reception and cultural impact, and if we talk Tombstone received praise for its performances, especially Val Kilmer's portrayal of Doc Holliday. And if we talk about critics, appreciated its authentic Western feel, character depth, and action sequences. The film has developed a dedicated and was often cited as one of the best western of the modern era. It influenced subsequent westerns and reawakened interest in the Old West mythos. And if we talk about cast and performance highlights, Kurt Russell adds that ear charismatic, gritty, and complaining, while Kilmer as Doc Holliday, widely regarded as the definitive screen portrait, full of wit and pathos. Sam Elliott adds Virgil Ear, calm, authoritative, and stoic. Bill Paxton as Morgan Ear, loyal and brave. Michael Biehn as Johnny Ringo, menacing and charismatic. Supporting roles including Powers Boot, Michael Madsen, and Buck Taylor. If we talk about behind the scene and production facts, and if we talk about casting, Val Kilmer was cast after the original actor. Anthony Perkins was replaced due to scheduling conflicts. If we talk about filming locations, primarily shot in Arizona, capturing authentic western landscapes. If we talk about budget and box office, budget estimated at 23 million, grossed approximately 56 million worldwide. And if we talk about the script, initially penned by Kevin J, who was replaced during production by other writers, leading to some behind the scenes tensions. And if we talk about challenges, shooting in the desert posed logistical various challenges, but contributed to the film's authentic look. If we talk about legacy and influence, Tombstone remains a beloved Western praised for its character-driven narrative and action. Paul Kilmer's Dog Holiday performance is considered iconic. The film contributed to revival of Western in 90s, inspired comic books, video games, and references in popular culture. And if we talk about final thought, Tombstone is a quintessential western that captures the spirit, danger, and heroism of the Old West. It balances action, drama, and history, offering a compelling portrayal of legendary legendary figures and events. It's memorable. If we talk about more, if we talk about Tombstone, ultimate full movie review and in-depth facts compilation, then let's start with introduction. Tombstone stands as one of the most iconic Western films of the modern era, celebrated for its gritty realism, memorable character, and thrilling action sequences directed by George P. Cosmatos. The film masterfully captured the lawless spirit of the American frontier during the late 19th century, dramatizing the legendary Sudan at the OK Corral and the tumultuous list of the real historical figures involved. This film is not just an action-packed western but also a complex character study exploring themes of justice, loyalty, morality, and the chaos that define the American West. Its reputation has grown over decades, inspiring fans worldwide and influencing subsequent Western productions. And if we talk about extensive plot breakdown, introduction, and arrival in Tombstone, the story begins with Viato Kurt Russell, a former lawman with a troubled past, arriving in the frontier town of Tombstone, Arizona. He seeks a new start, free from ghosts of his previous life. And that reunites with his brother Virgil Samuelet, Street's sheriff, and Morgan Will Paxton. eager to actualize a peaceful life. The town is depicted as a boom town with rapid growth, rife with corruption, lawlessness, and opportunity. Definitely Volkmer, an infamous gambler, gunslinger, and dentist battling tuberculosis. He is sharp with charm and deadly skill makes him stand out. E.K. Clanton, Stephen Lang, a hot-headed outlaw and leader of the Clanton McLaurin gang, known for his violent temper. And if we talk about John Ringo, Michael being a charismatic, ruthless outlaw with a reputation for deadly duels. Curly Will Brocius, a violent outlaw and key player in the Chaos of Tombstone. The EF's law enforcement efforts, Virgil becomes Tombstone's sheriff trying to restore order amid chaos. And if we talk about rising tension, outlaw and tension and outlaw conflicts, the Clinton gang and other outlaws engage in cattle rustling, violence, and intimidation. Various attempts to uphold the law are met with resistance, corruption, and threats. The tension between the outlaws and the lawmen escalates gradually with the skirmishes and threats. And if we talk about Oak, Curran, gunfire, the climax is the legendary gunfight at the Oak Curran fought on October 26, 1881. The shootout lasts for 30 seconds, but its repercussions echo for years. And we had Brazil, Morgan, and Dove Holiday face off against the Clinton and McLaurin gang. The gunfight is depicted with cinematic intensity, emphasizing speed, accuracy, and chaos. And chaos. If we talk about aftermath and personal struggles, If we talk about themes and philosophical underpinnings, justice, law, and vigilantism, the film uh, the explore the thin line between lawful justice and vigilantism. Viars represent the ideal of law and order, but his actions sometimes blur ethical lines. The outlaws embody chaos and lawlessness, challenging the moral fabric of the frontier. If we talk about loyalty and friendship, the enduring friendship between Wyatt and Doc Holiday demonstrate loyalty amid chaos. Wyatt's loyalty to his brother and friends drives much of his action. The film emphasizes the importance of brotherhood and personhood. And if we talk about morality and gray areas, character operates in moral gray zones. Some actions are justified, others questionable. Yards struggle with revenge versus justice illustrates the complexity of morality in lawless environment. And if we talk about myth versus reality of the old west, the film romanticizes certain western tropes while portraying the brutal reality. It questions the heroism associated with figures like Wyatt, Earp, and Doc Holliday. And if we talk about violence and chaos. The film depicts gunfights, duels, and violence as inherent to the frontier. It examines how violence shapes lives and communities. Yet it Anderson portrayed as rugged principal man with a troubled past. His evaluation from hopeful newcomer to a hardened lawman reflects themes of responsibility and morality. His leadership during the gunfight and subsequent decisions highlights his complexity. And if we talk about Doc Holiday, Wall Kilmer, charismatic, witty, and tragic, Holiday is the film's standout character. His battle with tuberculosis adds a sense of impending doom. His loyalty to Wyatt and his own moral code make him a compelling anti-hero. And if we talk about Virgil here, Sam Elliot, the moral anchor of the portrayed as calm, steady, and authoritative. His injuries during the gunfights adds to his resilience. And if we talk about Morgan here, Bill Paxton, the youngest brother eager to prove himself, his death at the end of Outlaws fuels Wyatt's vengeance. Johnny Ringo Michael Wayne. And if we talk about historical context and accuracy, while Tombstone is rooted in real events and figures, it takes some creative liberties for dramatic effect. The gunfight at the OK Corral lasted approximately 30 seconds, yet the film emphasizes its significance. Bad years, relationship, and character traits are dramatized real life accounts differ in details. Now Holiday's portrayal aligns with his legendary reputation but includes fictionalized elements. Some timeline and character interaction are simplified or altered for narrative flow. And if you talk about historical significance, the event in the OK Corral is one of the most famous gunfights in American history, symbolizing the violent and lawless nature of the Old West. Wyatt's reputation as a lawman has been romanticized, but he was also involved in controversial activities. And if we talk about technical aspects, the direction and cinematography, uh, George because most crafts a gritty, immersive western atmosphere. Cinematography by William Burgess captures the stark beauty of Arizona uh, landscape. And if we talk about more, then let's talk about more. and it will take little time, so you have to wait little for a little moment. Okay, now let's do it. The ultimate in-depth movie analysis, facts, and review. Then let's start with its introduction, an iconic western revisited. Uh, Tombstone is widely regarded as one of the most authentic, gritty, and complaining western film ever made in the modern era. Its complaining storytelling, memorable character, and visceral action sequence have cemented its status as a classic. The movie vividly depicts the legendary events surrounding the gunfight at the OK Corral, blending historical figures with the dramatic storytelling to create a timeless narrative about justice, loyalty, morality, and chaos in the American frontier. And if we talk about directed by George P. Cosmatos, the film is distinguished not only by its action and authenticity, but also by its deep character development, sharp dialogues, and emotional depth. The film portrayals of Wyatt Earp, Doc Holliday, and the infamous outlaws as influenced popular perception of the Old West for decades. And let's do its detailed plot summary and narrative breakdown. The beginning setting the stage. The film opens with Wyatt of Kurt Russell, a rough, battle-hardened lawman with a checkered past, arriving in Tombstone, Arizona, a rapidly growing frontier town teeming with opportunity and violence. His arrival in is marked by a desire for redemption and stability, but he quickly finds himself impelled in turns. And if we talk about introduction of key character and their dynamics, Dog Holiday, Wall Kilmer, an infamous gambler and gunslinger battling tuberculosis but possessing a sharp wit and deadly skill with a pistol. His friendship with Wyatt is central to the story. Ike Clanton, a hot-tempered outlaw leader, aggressive and confrontational, representing Chaos. And we talk about Chaos Ring, a charismatic but ruthless outlaw, Wyatt's intellectual and deadly rival. And we talk about Carl Will Rosius unpredictable and violent outlook. Tension rises, the outlaw treats the Clinton gang and other outlaws, including Johnny Ringo, engage in cattle rustling, intimidation, and violent skirmishes. Wyatt and his brother attempt to bring law and order, but corruption and lawlessness threaten to overwhelm. Um, if we talk about climax, the gunfight at the OK Corral on October 26, 1881, the tension erupts into the legendary gunfight at the OK Corral. Brief but intense 30-second shootouts between Wyatt, Israel Morgan, and Dog Holiday against the Clinton McLaurin gang. The shootout is portrayed with patriotic intensity, emphasizing speed, skill, and chaos. And if we talk about aftermath and consequences, following the gunfight, Wyatt's moral compass is tested. His action lead to further conflicts, including the eventual murder of Morganier, which ignites Wyatt's quest for vengeance. Johnny Ringo's rivalry with Wyatt's become personal, culminating in tense confrontation. Throughout the film, Wyatt's internal struggle between justice and revenge is a central theme. The film concludes with Wyatt's leaving Tombstone, reflecting on the myth versus reality of the Old West and the legacy of violence and erasure. If we talk about the myth and reality of the Old West, the movie romanticizes certain aspects of Western heroism while depicting the brutal realities faced by those living in lawless frontier towns. It questions whether legends are born from truth or myth. And if we talk about violence and its consequences, the film doesn't shy away from depicting gunfights, duels, and brutality, emphasizing how violence shaped the lives of everyone involved. It examines whether violence is a necessary evil or destructive force. If we talk about character profiles and deep dives, Wyatt Ear Kurt Russell's portrayal as a rugged principal man with a complex past, his journey from hopeful newcomer to a hard-earned lawman highlights themes of responsibility and moral resilience. His leadership during the gunfight and his subsequent action reflects his eternal struggles between justice and revenge. The film humanizes Fjord, showing his vulnerabilities and sense of duty. And if we talk about Dog Holiday, Walt Kilmer, widely regarded as the film's standout characters, Holiday is witty, charismatic, and deadly. His battle with tuberculosis adds a tragic dimension, emphasizing his sense of mortality, his loyalty, weight, and his own moral code, making him an honest anti-hero. Famous for his line, "I am your Huckleberry," representing his readiness for confrontation. Virgil are familiar, the moral anchor of the film portrayed as calm, authoritative, and principled. He is injury during the OK Corral shootout and subsequent struggle, symbolizing the toll of violence. His leadership exemplifies restraint and justice. And if we talk about Morgan or Will Paxton, the youngest brother eager to prove himself but ultimately a victim of the chaos. His murder sparks Wyatt's vendetta, emphasizing themes of family and vengeance. If we talk about John Michael Lee, a charismatic yet deadly outdooring embodies the unpredictable violence of the frontier. His rivalry with Wyatt showcases the clash between order and chaos. E.K. Clinton, Stephen Lang, the hot-headed leader to the Clinton gang, often provoking conflict. His aggressive nature makes him a constant threat. Carleville versus Farooq, unpredictable and violent outlaw whose reckless behavior adds tension to the narrative. And if we talk about historical context and accuracy, Tombstone is based on real events and figures, but it takes creative liberties for storytelling purpose. The gunfight at the OK Corral lasted about 30 seconds, but the film emphasized its significance dramatically. Yet Year's character is a composite of various historical accounts, emphasizing his legendary status. And if we talk about Dog Holiday's portrayal lines with his reputation, but uh, includes fictionalized elements for cinematic effects. Johnny Ringo's character is dramatized in reality. His interaction with Wyatt were more nuanced. And if we talk about historical significance, the event at the OK Corral remains one of the most famous gunfights in American history, symbolizing the lawless and violent nature of the frontier. And if we talk about Viat Ark's reputation as a lawman has been romanticized, with some critics pointing out his more controversial action. And if you talk about behind the scene and production insights, casting and film facts, Wall Kilmer was cast after the original actor Anthony Perkins was replaced due to scheduled conflicts. And if we talk about behind the scene and production inside, then first thing that came in mind is casting and film facts. While Kilmer was cast after the original actor, Anthony Perkins was replaced due to scheduling conflicts. And Kurt Russell was chosen for his rugged screen presence, embodying Gattief's strength and complexity. The film's script was initially written by Kevin Jayer, but underwent rewrites and reproduction changes, leading to some behind-the-scenes tension. The film was shot primarily in Arizona, utilizing authentic western landscape to enhance realism. And if we talk about filming challenges, shooting in the desert for logistic challenges, but contributed to the film's gritty authenticity. The film's intense action scenes required precise choreography and stunt work. And if we talk about budget and commercial reception, it estimated budget 23 millions, and if we talk about box office gross, approximately 56 million worldwide, making it a commercial success. And if we talk about music and cinematic history, score by Bruce Broughton complements the film's tone haunting and tense. And if we talk about cinematography by William Vegas, captures the stark beauty of the desert landscape and the gritty and textures of the town. Critical reception and cultural impact, the film was praised for its performances, particularly Val Kilmer's portrayal of Doc Holliday. And what's the next topic should be? On which topic? Let's go for some music only, okay? Which one? I think it's good. Okay, and if we talk about The film was praised for its performances, particularly Wolf Kilmer's portrayal of Doc Holliday. Criticals lauded its authentic Western atmosphere, complaining characters and intense action. The film has gained a cult following, often cited as one of the best modern Western. Paul Kilmer's performances, especially his memorable lines, had become iconic. The film influenced later westerns and contributed to a resurgence of interest in the genre. And if we talk about memorable scenes and iconic lines, the fast-paced gunfight at the OK Carol, Dog Holiday stop it, especially lines like Amir, Huckleberry waits a confrontation with Johnny Shingo, reflecting their mutual respect and rivalry. The emotional aftermath of Morgan Yep's assassination, where Divine reflects on justice, law, and legend. And if we talk about legacy and enduring popularity, Tombstone remains a beloved classic for Western fans and from atheists like its legacy is built on its authentic depiction of Western life and violence. Mm, Powerful performances, especially Val Kilmer's portrayal of Doc Holliday's influence on the Western genre, inspiring subsequent film and media. The way it balanced historical accuracy with cinematic storytelling. And if we talk about conclusion, why Tombstone endures because it captures the raw, brutal, and heroic essence of the Old West. It combines historical figures with compelling storytelling, memorable dialogue, and visuals action, and its themes of loyalty, justice, and morality resonate universal, making it timeless whether viewed as an action film, a character study, or a myth-making saga. Tombstone remains a definitive western that continues to inspire and entertain audiences worldwide. And and definitive in depth, extended analysis, and complete movie profile. Firstly, we'll start with introduction. Revisiting Western classic, Tombstone stands as a towering achievement in the Western genre, blending historical legends with cinematic artistry to craft a compelling narrative about loss, loyalty, and morality. Released in 1993, directed by George P. Cosmatos, the film has become a touchstone for Western enthusiasts and cinephiles alike. Praised for its gritty realism, memorable character, and visual action sequences. This film isn't merely an action spectacle but an intricate tapestry along with themes of justice, brotherhood, morality, and myth making. It explores the complex personalities behind legendary figures, making the story both historically significant and emotionally resonant. And if we talk about comprehensive plot breakdown and narrative structure, Act 1, The Arrival and New Beginnings. The story opens with Wyatt Earp, a veteran lawman with a turbulent past, arriving in Tombstone, Arizona, seeking a fresh start. The town is depicted as a burgeoning frontier settlement, rife with corruption and violence. Wyatt reunites with his brother Virgil Simulate, the calm and authoritative sheriff, and Morgan Will Paxton, eager to prove himself. The Earth family is portrayed as a tight-knit unit with strong bonds and shared ideals. The town is shown as a place of opportunity but also danger with outlaw cattle rustlers and gamblers shaping its dangerous reputation. And if we talk about Act 2, tension build and character emerge. Uh, Introduction of key character Doc Holliday, Kilmer, a flamboyant, witty gambler and gunslinger, battling tuberculosis. Johnny Ringo McElwain, a charismatic and dangerous outlaw with a sharp mind. Ike Clinton, a hot-headed cattle rustler, and Curly Bill versus Power, who's a reckless outlaw, where's effort to establish law and order are met with resistance from the outlaw and corrupt town officials. The Clanton gang and other outlaws operates with impunity, engaging in cattle rustling, intimidation, and violence. And Doc Holiday and Yard form a close friendship rooted in the mutual respect and shared experience of hardship and morality. Holiday's tragic battle with TV adds emotional depth. The town's simmering tension escalates as the outlaws gang pushes boundaries through assaults, cattle rustling, and thieves. If we talk about Act 3, the power keg ignites the gunfight at the OK Corral. The inevitable confrontation culminates in the legendary gunfight at the OK Corral on October 26, 1881. It wait a little. we talk about aftermath and personal vengeance, the aftermath is where facing backlash, legal repercussions, and internal moral conflict. His action elevates his legend, but also even his internal struggles. Johnny Ringo's rivalry with Viat and Sophie intensifies, leading to tense confrontation and psychological warfare. The murder of Morgan Hart by an outlaw ignites Viat's vengeful him on a collision course with the lawless elements of Tombstone. There's eternal conflict between justice and fear becomes a central theme. If we talk about epilogue and reflection, God eventually gives Tombstone reflecting on myth versus reality of the Old West and Doc Holliday's fate remains ambiguous but is marked by his unwavering friendship with Viat and his own tragic mortality. The film ends with a reflection on heroism, legend, and the choice that defined the frontier. We talk about in-depth thematic analysis. Justice, law, and vigilantism. The film explores the fragile and often blurred line between lawful justice and vigilantism. Viat represent the law trying to impose order, but his action sometimes challenges legal boundaries, reflecting the moral complexity of frontier justice. The outlaw symbolizes chaos and lawlessness, challenging the legitimacy of the law. Loyalty, brotherhood, and honor. the the unerring loyalty among Wyatt, Virgil, Morgan, and Doc Holiday underscored themes of brotherhood, sacrifices, and personal honor. Wyatt's loyalty to his friends and family motivates most of his action, highlighting the importance of bonds forged in hardship. And if we talk about morality in a lawless land, character operates within shades of grey, making morally complex decisions driven by necessity and circumstance. Whereas eternal struggle reflects the moral ambiguities faced by lawmen and outlaws alike. And if we talk about myth-making and reality, the film romanticizes certain Western tropes but also depicts the brutal reality of frontier life. It questions whether legends are born from truth, perception, or myth-making. And if we talk about violence, chaos, and consequences, the film's depiction of gunfights, duels, arbitrary underscores how violence shaped the lives of everyone involved. It examines whether violence is an inherent part, the frontier of a symptom of social breakdown. And if we talk about character deep dive and profile, we are Kurt Russell portrayal as a rugged, principled man hunted by his past but committed to restoring order. His evolution from a hopeful and if we talk about Virgil or Sam, the moral compass of the family depicted depicted as calm, steady, and principled. His injury during the gunfight symbolizes the toll of violence and the burden of leadership. His efforts to uphold justice reflect his integrity. And if we talk about Morgan or Bill Paxton, the eager and ambitious youngest brother eager to prove himself. His murder by outlaws becomes a pivotal moment, revealing York's quest for vengeance. And if we talk about Johnny Jr., Michael Wayne, charismatic, intelligent, and deadly king of nobody's the unpredictable violence of the frontier. His rivalry with Wyatt is rooted in respect, challenge, and mutual understanding. Nicky Grant and Stephen Lang, and hot-headed and aggressive London optimizes chaos and reckless violence. His provocations escalates tension, leading to conflict. And if we talk about Gullible versus Powerwood, an unpredictable and violent outlaw whose reckless behavior adds attention and danger. And if we talk about historical context and authenticity, Tombstone is based on real events but dramatized for cinematic effect. The gunfight at the OK Corral lasted approximately 30 seconds, but the film highlights its significance. Yadav's character is a composite of various historical accounts emphasizing his legendary status. Doc Holliday's portrayal is inspired by his reputation, but some elements are fictionalized. John Ringer's character is dramatized in reality. His interaction with Wyatt were complex but less confrontational. And if we talk about historical significance, the event symbolizes the lawless chaos of the American West. And Wyatt's legacy is a mix of heroism and controversy, with debates over his true character. And talk about production insight and behind the scenes stories, casting choices, and creative decisions. While Kilmer was cast after the original actor Anthony Perkins was replaced due to scheduling conflicts. Kurt Russell, known for his rugged charisma, was chosen to embody that of strength and moral complexity. The screenplay underwent rewrites with Kevin Jair initially scripting the film, but production delays and creative disagreements led to further revisions. And if we talk about music and cinematic style, score by Bruce Norton underscores the tension and emotional beats. Cinematography by William Vegas captures the stability of Arizona landscapes and the gritty textures of the town. If we talk about budget and success, estimated budget 23 million, worldwide gross approximately 56 million, making it a commercial success. And if we talk about critical reception and cultural impact, praise for Val Kilmer's performance as a dog holiday with his witty lines becoming iconic. The film's authentic Western atmosphere and powerful performances received widespread acclaim. Cult following grew over the years, cementing it as a modern Western classic. The film influenced subsequent Western film and revitalized interest in the genre. Memorable scene and iconic lines. The fast-paced gunfight at the epic one. The Holiday's memorable line, I am here, Huckleberry. Weird its confrontation with engineering and Morgan's murder and the emotional fallout. Weir's final reflection on justice, myth, and legacy. And if we talk about legacy and continued life, Tombstone India's becomes it encapsulates the raw, brutal, and heroic spirit of Old West. Its legacy is built on its authentic depiction of frontier life and violence. Memorable performance, especially Kilmer's portrayal of a holiday. Its influence on Western storytelling. The way it balances myth and history, making it timeless. And if we talk about conclusion, why Tombstone remains a classic. Tombstone continues to resonate because it offers a visual, emotionally charged and authentic portrayal of the American frontier. It celebrates the complex personalities behind legendary figures, exploring themes of morality, loyalty, and chaos that remains relevant today. Whether as a thrilling action film, a character-driven drama, or a with saga, Tombstone holds a distinct place in the cinematic history and Western lore. And let's talk about more. If we talk about Tombstone, ultimate exhaustive film analysis, history, and cultural breakdown, then let's again start with introduction, landmark, western, and cinematic history. Tombstone has states as definitive modern western, capturing the raw spirit, brutal violence, and complex morality of the American frontier. Released in 1993, directed by George E. Cosmator, and featuring a powerhouse cast, it has since become a benchmark for Western films, blending physical legends with cinematic storytelling to create an epic saga that resonates with audience worldwide. This film is not just an action-packed recounting of famous events. It's a layered exploration of heroism, morality, loyalty, and myth-making its characters larger than life, yet human, embodying both myth and reality of the West. The film's enduring popularity owes to its authentic tone, compelling performance, especially while Kilmer's iconic Dog Holiday and its vivid depiction of frontier life. If we talk about extensive plots, synopsis, and narrative architects, and if we talk about frugal the down of legend, the film opens with a sweeping panoramic shots on the Arizona desert setting, perfect, unforgiving tone, yet are part Russell's former lawman with a checkered past lies in a burgeoning frontier town of Tombstone. His arrival signals love for older amidst. He is accompanied by his brother Vijay and Morgan, each with their own motivations and moral codes. If we talk about Act 1, building the world and introducing key characters, the town of Tombstone is depicted as a fight, lawless place full of gamblers, cattle rustlers, and outlaws. The art's family dynamic is emphasized, portraying him as a protective, moral figure trying to do right in a corrupt environment. The film introduces Doc Holliday, Val Kilmer, a charismatic and witty gambler battling tuberculosis, whose friendship with Wyatt becomes central of the story. The wilderness forces are introduced each content, hot-tempered characters and Curly Will Ferocious, reckless of. And if we talk about Act 2, rising tension and character deepening, the Clanton gang begins cattle rustling threatening the town's stability. Wyatt and his brothers attempt to restore order, leading to confrontation with outlaws. The holiday's complex character is fleshed out. His sweet bravado and inner tragedy are revealed, and we talk about Johnny Ringo. Well, Miguel being a charismatic but deadly outlaw emerges as Wyatt's intellectual and physical rival. The town's law enforcement is depicted as inefficient or corrupt, highlighting the need for vigilant justice. Climax, the legendary gunfight the OK Corral on October 26, 1881. Tension reached a boiling point with Wyatt waging murdering the face against the Planter McLaren began in a bloody but legendary gunfight. The scene is masterfully choreographed, emphasizing speed, charge, and precision. We talk about shootout lasts roughly 30 seconds, but is a profound impact shaping the legend of the Old West. Three outlaws are killed: Willie, Clinton, and McLaren brothers. Their story is ambiguous. He emerges as both a hero and a man operating amid moral complexity. And if we talk about aftermath and personal vendettas, the aftermath of the gunfight results in legal and social repercussions. Yards reputation also has his internal conflicts over his social events. Johnny Ringo's rivalry with Wyatt escalates, leading to psychological warfare. The murder of Morgan by outlaw allies to the Clinton gang sparks its bloody vendetta that becomes an avenging angel hunting down those responsible, leading to tense confrontation. If we talk about epilogue, reflection, and mythology, Godsley's Tombstone contemplating the mythic legacy of the West versus in brutality, dog holidays, it remains ambiguous but underscores the tragic heroism of his character. Their final moments reflects on how legends are born from chaos, violence, and morality. And if we talk about in-depth thematic exploration, the first thing that came in mind is the morality of justice and vigilance. The film explores the blurry line between law and chaos. That embodies the lawman trying to impose order, yet his action often challenges legal boundaries, illustrating that frontier justice often involved moral compromises. The outlaws symbolize the chaos that lawmen like God fought against, but also sometimes becomes part of. And if we talk about loyalty, brotherhood, and sacrifice, the unwavering bond among Waits, Virgil, Margaret, and Dog Holiday are central. Their loyalty is tested repeatedly, and their sacrifices highlight the themes of brotherhood and personal honor. Amidst chaos, their sense of duty to his family and friends underscore the importance of loyalty. And it was the review of this movie. I hope you like it. If you like it, enjoy. Goodbye for now. Let's meet on next video. So thank you for being here. Bye.